Hi, Violet.
Hi, Jason.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm so glad to be here.
You're so welcome. You took time out of your busy schedule so I could take a few minutes and interview you, because we would all love to hear about your spiritual journey and how you got into the practices that you are.
Oh, well, thanks for asking. You know, when I was a child, I saw spirit. I saw people that had passed and people that were here and spiritual guides and all that. My father passed away when I was 8, and so I would spend time with him and bring messages back to my mother, who was very frightened on the things that I would tell her and what I would know and what I could see. I could always see the future. I could always see what was going to happen down the road. I still have a lot of that where I can kind of predict where we're going and what's happening. I've always kind of had this deep knowing. But it scared my mother enough that I closed those gifts off for many, many years and reconnected later on down the road in my 30s, and then was an HR person, so I sure couldn't disclose what I did and what I did on my time, so I kept it very hidden for a long, long time. And then got married 4 years ago to Mr. Tom that we all know, and he asked me if I could do anything I dreamed of I wanted to do, what would I want to work at. And at that time I was a college professor and an HR person in the executive world. I taught at 3 colleges, business courses, and worked as an HR executive. So I put lots of hours in. He thought I worked too hard, and he wanted to give me something where I would work not so hard.
Good job, Tom.
And I said if I could do anything I wanted to do, I would want to open a spiritual center. That had always been my dream. I didn't realize that I would work harder at this than I did those 4 jobs that I thought I worked really hard at. But I've put my heart and soul into this.
Well, it shows.
Well, thank you.
And you're welcome. Thank you. And for those of us that have directly benefited from your efforts and your time, that have been here and involved, we appreciate you.
Well, thank you.
The Discover Your Spiritual Gifts would not exist without you. And Tom, I mean, he's around. But the vision and the beauty and what you've created here and the support that is here is because of the picture that you had and following your dreams. So it's nice that you were willing to get back into the groove, right, and really go after it.
Well, we talked about it. I knew that when I took my cloak off, which a lot of us cloak ourselves, we go out into that world out there and we don't want to be our authentic self because people don't believe the same thing that we believe. They don't see the same things we see. They don't feel or hear the same things, and we feel like outsiders out there. And when you tell people that you're gifted, they kind of step back from you. And so, you know, I have 3 master's degrees in business and HR. I'm very certified in HR. But I knew when I stepped into this world, I could never go back. There's not a company on this planet that would ever hire a psychic medium as their HR person. It's just not going to happen. And it was a real big decision for myself and my family to do this, because all that education, all the certification, I mean, I can use it here, but I can never step back into that world. If you did an internet search on me, they're not going to hire me. They would not be able to do that. So we made that decision. And think about how scary it is to completely drop your cloak and step into a world. And I'm a Capricorn, so I love security. To step into something that was not as secure as what I was used to. So it was a big step for me to do this.
Well, you had studied with a lot of different things over your time, and not just in schools, right? So following suit with all of the other certifications you have in the spiritual community, you have several, and now you even provide certifications for others. So here's the $1 million question is, when you come to see Vialet, what can you expect from a session?
Well, you know, I studied 3 years in a spiritual camp Spiritualism started in the 1800s in the United States. It was all about mediumship and psychics, and there are spiritual camps along the East Coast that used to be very popular that aren't today. I had an opportunity to live close to one and study for 3 years from some really powerful mediums and psychics to help with my gifts. And then I found a mystery school that I studied with for 3 years. I only go for the high teachings. I'm really drawn to the high teachings, the ancient teachings. And so I really studied. And so today, to come in and have a session, I have, and I'm a bookie. I'm a college professor bookie. I want all the books, all the resources. I want to study it all. I want to understand it all so I can bring in only the best. So kind of like you were talking about earlier, Akashic Records is huge for me. I see the power of the knowledge that you get in the records of your past lives, your contracts, your purpose, how your obstacles, what gets you stuck in cycles, and understanding that. And then Angelic Reiki is the healing process where the angels, ascended masters, and galactic healers step in, and you can really do healings and really help people through that. And then my mystery school teachings of being a sacred priestess and an alchemist, a Kabbalist, a ritual master, and all that. I bring all that. So, I'm able to help people release cords, emotional cords and attachments. I'm able to clear those and release them so they feel lighter and they're not attached to those situations, those people, those incidents. I'm able to give people clarity and really clear stuff that they've been holding on to in this lifetime or other lifetimes. I always tell people I don't want you to ask the questions until after I get through giving you information, because what I find is the information I give you is going to blow you away so much more than your questions that you've brought to ask me. And most of the time people are like, you answered all my questions at a whole different level. And so that just glows your heart when you're able to give things to people that really kind of blow and really set them on a new direction.
Well, having been a recipient of multiple sessions with you, I can say that you put those teachings into good use. And most certainly a lot of other people have benefited from that. And I hear a lot of giggling, and I see a lot of tissue boxes in here, and that's usually a good sign. So people can they can book with you through the website. They can
call, they can email me. We can definitely set them up. I tell people I'm an empath, so I emotionally feel what they're going through. I have been known to sit down on the floor at your feet and hold you as you cry. So I am here.
As you both cry.
As we both cry.
Because you cry in every session.
I cry every session with them, and then I cry outside. But that's the beauty of it, right? That's when you know it's super, super powerful, that you've hit some really good chords, that you've really connected. So yes, you can definitely email me. You can book on the site. You can stop by. We'll definitely get you booked in a session, whatever that might be.
Perfect. Well, thank you for sharing your journey with us and all that amazing information and what you do in your sessions. And thank you for all that you do for the community and for creating Discover Your Spiritual Gifts so the rest of us can do the same thing.
I love it. Thank you. We hope to see you really soon.
Discover connection, awaken sacredness, become empowered. Come experience the difference and discover your spiritual gift.